I'm the director of the HEC Startup Launchpad. Our 11-week intensive program nurtures the next generation of entrepreneurs, and we are thrilled to bring our 140 talented students to London, showcasing their innovative projects in healthcare, green tech, education, and consumer goods, for example, at the Curzon. Our students have developed impressive solutions in various sectors, tackling real-world challenges. Join us at the Curzon to witness their creativity and connect with the UK startup ecosystem. London, here we come. Let's create a lasting impact together. See you there.
Welcome to the Grand Pitch Night. I am Delphine Moureau, the director of HEC in the UK. It's a pleasure to welcome you, whether you are online or here in the cinema Curzon. It's such an exciting week for our students. They arrived on Monday and I have had quite an intensive program. They started on Monday with a pitch competition and advice from Techstars and Morgan Stanley about how to pitch. They continued with Entrepreneurs Talk, and thank you to our great entrepreneurs who came to talk to them. In particular, thank you to Adrien Nussenbaum, Caroline Noublanche, and Amélie Dupassage and Aude Debar for sharing your experience as an entrepreneur. They also had the chance to meet in small committees 11 entrepreneurs who came to talk to them. That was an entrepreneurs meetup. And they also had workshops in the HEC UK house. But tonight, it's now the final, and we can't wait to welcome our 6 finalist startups. Have a wonderful evening, and good luck to you all.
Welcome to the HEC Launchpad UK Pitch Night. I'm Inge Kerkel-Lviv. I'm leading the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Institute at HEC. Entrepreneurship is part of the DNA of the school. As we always say, we think, we teach, we act around innovation and entrepreneurship. So I'm extremely delighted to welcome you to the UK Pitch Night tonight, where we have 6 startups pitching in front of the grand jury. All the best to our startups.
Social media is a legal drug that we give on unlimited basis to our kids. It is a real, strong, and impactful addiction. The average teenager in the US spends roughly 8 hours and a half on their phone, mainly watching TikTok or Instagram. In a lifespan, this is 30 years of their life spent watching girls dancing, dolphin jumpings, pimple piercing, and whatever useless crap the algorithm decides to show them. This is where we intervene at Brightly with our smart educational reward-based mechanism. We allow parents to decide how much time their kids can spend on their phone, and once this amount has been reached, Brightly will load the other apps and provide an education app that allows kids to engage with educational content, and if they answer well, like with any other video games, they will earn experience that will allow them to buy some reward, such as a well-deserved 10-minute TikTok break from their hard work. So with Brightly, instant dopamine is no longer an option, no more fighting, and no more addiction. Thank you for watching.
There, we're Leonie, Alexis, and Naima, and we're here to introduce M-Oni, an AI assistant that provides construction site managers with all the answers to their questions.
So imagine a world where site managers easily navigate through thousands of contracts, blueprints, and emails without the hassle of bad data management. So that's the reality with M-Oni. In the construction industry, managing data can be a nightmare. Information overload, inaccessible updates, and poor communication lead to costly mistakes. But with M-Oni, we're changing the game.
Our platform seamlessly integrates all site data, enabling users to pinpoint the exact information they need within seconds. The impact: M-Oni not only saves site engineers up to 2 hours daily, but also saves 7% of a project budget. It's not just an assistant, it's a game changer for the construction industry.
We can't wait to dive deeper and share more about M-Oni with you at the Grand Pitch Night next Wednesday. Join us to see how we're building the future of construction management. See you there.
Today, pharmacies are facing a key issue. Even though beauty products should be a key acquisition lever, consumers are actually leaving the pharmacies to go buy beauty products at larger distribution retailers who actually have more interesting prices and more interesting products.
Clearly, compared to Sephora or Boots, independent pharmacies do seem a little bit outdated.
Here comes Uzu. Envision a loyalty program you will finally be loyal to. We give pharmacists the tool to finally stand out in such a highly competitive environment.
We created a groundbreaking AI technology that assesses the chemistry behind your routine. So say goodbye to anti-aging products while you're 20 and hello to products that truly resonate with you. You get ultra-personalized samples and discounts based on the exact need of your skin, perfectly tailored to your routine.
Yuzu finally empowers pharmacists to attract and retain a clientele desperate for exclusive and tailored experiences.
The difficulty to recruit deskless workers is an undeniable fact. Very few applications come through, and just some of them are actually qualified for the job role.
But are we certain that it's easy for a deskless worker to apply with the current process?
Alors là, pas du tout.
Non.
Pas du tout, non.
Non. Non, le processus n'est pas fait pour l'utilisation du portable.
With Blueco, we offer AI-enabled automated chat applications, letting workers who don't use computers daily apply easily through WhatsApp for a faster application that can be done on the go.
In 2 minutes, the application is done. The candidate's profile is automatically created and integrated into the recruiter's current systems.
Thanks to our pre-screening, recruiters only see candidates who are properly qualified for the position. Recruiters can reach out directly to candidates on the same channel that they applied, through WhatsApp.
Vote for Blueco.
Today, British companies spend £5 billion a year to keep their internal management softwares up to date. We call them ERPs. The task of updating these systems is given to sales administration teams who spend up to 80% of their time on data entry or retrieval using these less than ergonomic interfaces. At Edon, we use symbolic AI approach to give superpowers to your sales assistants. We invented a totally new way of interacting with your software. We developed a chat where you can easily input new data into your ERP or ask questions to retrieve information from your databases. The result is a 12-fold increase in the productivity of sales administration teams. Instead of spending 6 hours on 50 interactions with their ERP, they will spend only 30 minutes. By increasing their productivity on this tedious task, we enable them to spend more time with their clients, producing real value for their company.
This chair seems in perfect condition, right? Well, yes it is, because it's brand new.
However, like hundreds of thousands of products each year, it will be thrown away and never be used by anyone. This is the problem of unsold non-food items. Although it concerns all companies, it remains a huge taboo in the retail industry.
The inabilities of companies to manage their unsold goods embodies a real system failure. On one hand, it's an economic pain for companies who are missing out on earnings, but on the other hand, it's a social and ecological disaster. We are producing goods that will never be used.
But this was before Rebalance. With Rebalance, we are enabling companies to make profit by donating their excess inventory to charities.
Seems too good to be true, but our donation as a service platform streamlines the donation process and its logistics and automates the tax rebate benefit for companies.
With Rebalance,
make donation the go-to solution for your overstock.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can now join your seat as the event's going to start in 30 seconds. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome everyone to the 2024 version of our HEC UK Launchpad competition. It is our grand pitch night. If you're online, welcome. And if you're here, of course, welcome. So, what's going to happen tonight? Let's start with a few introductions. So please, Guillaume and Inge, please join me on the stage. Hi Inge, you're the director of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Institute at HEC. And we wanted to ask you why entrepreneurship is so important at HEC and why the Launchpad is so important as well.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Why is entrepreneurship so important? I think there are a lot of reasons for it. The most important is probably also that entrepreneurship has a long story at HEC. It's part of our DNA. It's part of our core values at HEC. So at the Institute, as we say, we think, we teach, we act around innovation and entrepreneurship, doing research, doing programs, teaching, and having incubation acceleration programs. So I think there's a reason why HEC and the entrepreneurship is so important to us. It's also because amazing projects coming out of this entrepreneurship community. And I see everybody here tonight. We have profs, we have students, we have alumni, we have friends, we have staff. I think it's a wonderful community around innovation and entrepreneurship. And probably innovation and entrepreneurship is where we link ourselves, the school, to a lot of other people. We link ourselves to HEC alumni. We link ourselves to HEC Ventures, HEC UK House, to people like organizations like Station F, our academic partners. So it's a way to link ourselves and to build this wonderful community. To conclude my speech tonight, I would like to take the opportunity to say two thank you. The first thank you is to the Grand Jury. Thank you very much for being with us and taking the time to see all those amazing projects. A little pressure on the project. So thank you again for being with us tonight. And the second thank you will be for the HEC Foundation. I don't know if you know this, but a few years ago we were not able to bring all the students here. So if you are here tonight, it's thanks to the HEC Foundation. And HEC Foundation actually cannot do anything without donors. So there are people behind enabling us to do such an event tonight. There are corporate sponsors. I would like to thank X-HEC Markets supporting entrepreneurship at HEC too. And there are individual donors. We have some of our donors here tonight, and we have two of them. I would like to mention them to conclude. First of all, Philippe Fauriel-Destézé. I don't know, do you know Philippe Fauriel-Destézé? Yes, yes, yes. So he's the founder from ADECO, actually, and he gave a major donation for the Entrepreneurship Institute a few years ago. And actually, it's thanks to Mr. Fauriel-Destézé that we are able to come together. Another alumni I would like to mention is Pascal Cany. You probably know Pascal Cany. You know, the guy who has been recruited by Steve Jobs a couple of years ago, and he now is the president of Business France. Those two have been able to support this program, so, and especially with some scholarships. So, to conclude definitely my speech, I know I'm over time already, I would need your help, please. So, I would like to ask our NYU students who are here thanks to the scholarship of Pascal Cany to stand up. Are you in the room? Okay, they will join us. Next try. Okay. Do we have our friends from ESA here? Do we have ESA students here from Beirut? Joining soon. Okay, next try. Okay, let's try. Do we have any students from X-HEC Entrepreneurs? Woo! Do we have any students from the Launchpad? Do we have staff from the Launchpad? Thank you, all of you. I wish all of us a wonderful evening. I hand over to Guillaume.
Okay, yes. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, Inge. So here this is a Launchpad competition. So maybe Guillaume, you can say a few words about what is a Launchpad. Guillaume, you're the director of the program.
Of course. Good evening, everybody. So for those who don't know about the Launchpad, it's an 11 weeks program designed in order to help students in their final years to launch a startup by validating a market opportunity and a value proposition. In order to do so, we have a unique methodology, but also an unfair advantage. Community, you know, sharing experiences, interacting, networking, exposure, as tonight at the Curzon, are key, in fact. That's why our annual week in London is priceless. And in the name of the Launchpad crew, in the name of all the students of the Launchpad 2024, I would like sincerely to thank the HEC UK team for their amazing organization. And I hope you will all enjoy this evening and will be as impressed as we are by our competitors, reflecting the magic of the Launchpad. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Guillaume. So the Launchpad program lasts 11 weeks, and we are now at their 7th week. And during that week, they come to London. So what do they do in London? So they arrived on Monday. On Monday, they pitched already, and they met with VC, who talked to them about what makes a good pitch. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, they met with entrepreneurs who shared good advice with them, their experiences, their challenges. They met Adrien from Miracle, Caroline from Apricity, and Amélie and Aude from Petite Friture. On Tuesday afternoon, they went in very small groups to meet lots of entrepreneurs who shared in small committees their challenges and their excitement of being entrepreneurs. That was a very interesting afternoon as well. And they also had workshops, one of them on personality, so they could work with their co-founders on their personality traits and see whether maybe they might have communication issues at some point. And they also worked on storytelling, trying to find an Anglo-Saxon way maybe of telling their stories. So that was their program. And then I wanted to say then thank you to our juries, because the competition you're seeing here, this is the last part of the competition which started last week. So thank you to our juries who spent some time to select our finalists. Some of you are in the room and some of you are online. Thank you for your time. This year, we added a twist to the program because on Monday, those who arrived second last week pitched again, and one of them was selected and is with us tonight. That was a twist, and then all the teams were then mentored. And so thank you again to our mentors. So again, some of you are here, thank you. If you're online, thank you for your time last week. I know your advice is very, very valuable for our startups. Thank you. So what's happening tonight? Tonight it's a competition, it's a final. We have 6 finalists and they're competing for 2 prizes. One is a prize of the audience. So everybody can vote. You can vote. Please participate. If you're online, you can vote as well. If you're online, the link is below the description of the event. If you're here, you can connect. There is a Wi-Fi which is Curzon Public, so you can connect and vote if you'd like to vote and participate. That's the first prize of the audience. But then we also have the prize of the grand jury, because we have a grand jury with us, and I am delighted to present to you our grand jury. So let's start with you, Gabrielle. Gabriele, you work at X-HEC, and you're used to looking at complex, deep tech projects. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Quite simple, right? Startup is a challenge, so I'd like to hear at least that every team reflects on the 5 minutes, at least on the one core challenge that they envision with their ideas.
Thank you. Adrien, you have co-founded a few companies. What do you think makes a good pitch?
I would say people have very, very short attention span. And so you have to come up with a very strong narrative, a very strong story to capture our interest. And just don't say too much, make it really intriguing to get our attention.
Thank you. Marilyn, you are used at looking at lots of companies in lots of different sectors. Is there something you look for in a team, a personality? What are you looking for in the team?
Well, there is no absolute standard, but if I had to pick a specific trait, I would probably pick leadership in 2 meanings: capacity to convince, to aspire, and also exemplarity in the sense of absolute commitment to execute.
Thank you. And finally, Ramsey, you have created your fund called No Label Ventures. I'm sure you can think about the students who are about to pitch. So do you have a word of encouragement for them?
Yeah, sure. Maybe a couple of words. One is very often when I reflect about my own journey, one thing I wish is having done this before, having taken the entrepreneurial step earlier and before. So very admiring of them having taken that step early in their career. I think it's a wonderful choice. And then maybe more of a long-term piece of advice, unsolicited advice. If you ask any great founder, any great investor, a lot of them will tell you that 9 out of 10 amazing startups have gone through very, very difficult time, very, very much like near-death experiences before they become great. And so, yeah, take this as an inspiration. There's going to be lots of obstacles, but know that if you're building something great, then this is basically inevitable.
Thank you. Okay, so we are about to start. So what are the rules? The rules are 5 minutes presentation, followed by 5 minutes questions. Then there will be a deliberation, and we'll announce the winners. So I think without further ado, I think we are ready to start. And so I think Brightly, you are the first one. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone, we are Brightly, a smart dopamine detox for your kids. So, today I'm here to talk about a drug, a very serious drug. A drug that affects 90% of our kids and which they have unlimited access to on daily basis. What is this drug? Social media. Social media have been designed by the best addictologue in the world. it is made to make your kids super addicted. Talking about addiction, an average teenager spends more than 8 hours on their phone, mainly on social media. And why is that a problem? Well, there's a lot of studies that shows that the more time you spend on your phone, the more it's linked to anxiety, depression, sleep disorder, and I can tell you the statistics are very, very bad. And Adrian was talking about focus. Well, brain development and focus is super bad. I don't have to explain it to you guys. The more time you spend on social media, the less you can focus. And lastly, we talked to a lot of parents, and all of them have reported that they fight on daily basis with their kids, and it's pretty intense fighting. All of them said that they are desperate, they don't know what to do, they don't have any solution, and funny enough, some have said that they rather have their kids watch Netflix than be on TikTok. This is how bad it is. And you know what? This is a problem that also affects kids. Most of them said that they're aware that this is an addiction and they don't know what to do. And the truth is, willpower alone is not enough to beat a real addiction designed by the best addictologues in the world. So, let us introduce you to Brightly, a fun and personalized education app to combat social media addiction for kids from 10 to 17. And our philosophy is very simple. Get the carrot, not the stick. So, how does it work? Very simple. You as a parent will decide how much time your kids can spend on TikTok, Instagram, let's say 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, Brightly will log these apps and it will move to an education app with game, quiz, real-life challenges, meditation, a lot of real-life challenges, really cool. And if the kid succeeds and replies to it well, it will earn credits, like in any traditional video games, and then can buy some rewards, such as more time on TikTok, or if you're cool parents, some real-life rewards, such as going to the bowling with the friends. So, we want a happy world for everyone. We want to be the digital parent-kid negotiation. We want happy kids and happy parents. There are some solutions that exist. You fight with your kids to take the phone away. Doesn't work. Parental control doesn't work. So, this is why our pricing is going to be super simple. 1 month free version. You can try it. You can see how good it is, that your kid spends less time on social media. And then the pricing, $5.99 per month, super simple and affordable. Our TAM, very simple. We want to start with the US. In California, they created social media. We want to address the problem where they created it. And so we've done some interviews there. It's a massive market. We calculate a TAM of 1.3 billion, and we'll tell you about it, but we started working with some people.
So for our go-to-market strategy, at the beginning, it's going to be simple. We're going to hit all the traditional social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, to get the word as fast as possible. Then we want to do collaborations with cell phone providers and educational institutions. We already talked to Orange here in France and T-Mobile in the US. They both shown a lot of interest to have such a solution as part of their services. Furthermore, we also talked to parent groups and public schools. And from this pool of institutions, we gathered our first clients with whom we will test and build our solutions. And lastly, these guys, the health and education influencers, who are going to get the word more out because they have a following who are interested in such a solution. Moving on, why we think we're the right team. My co-founder Gregory has founded and managed for 3 years a startup incubator. He also does education programs for Mindio, which is the #1 French online business platform. I'm Wadia, I have an engineering background, and I also manage a company doing energy, and I have developed my app development skills and coding skills during that time. So lastly, our plan. First of all, during the next 2 months, we want to have a beta version so we can test with our 200 eager and enthusiastic clients, which we already have. Then, in around July, we want to test it more, raise some funds so we could cement our partnerships and develop the final solution. Then we want to scale up, hopefully outside the US within a year, to reach around 10,000 customers. So, lastly, are you ready to give us your attention? We're Brightly. Thank you very much. If you're interested, please scan the QR code.
Okay, I'm happy to kick us off, and then you can go next, Ramsey. Thanks a lot. I think you guys are going after a really, really important problem. And I think the level of ambition of starting with the US is music to my ears, so congrats again. I guess the first reaction I had, though, where I was a little bit surprised during the pitch, is that you're essentially obviously going after the attention problem and trying to lock up time spent on TikTok and so forth. But then you mentioned the reward is more time on TikTok. And to me, there's a question about incentives and behaviors, and also how you align your company going forward and your messaging to the external world. But it sounds like something is wrong there of offering more time in TikTok by preventing time spent on TikTok. So if you can give us a bit more context, that'd be great.
It's a great question, and this is why we're here to negotiate. If, for example, if the current average is 8 hours, after 1 hour, you decide to have 1 hour of, for example, Brightly. And so, realistically, they're not going to spend 16 hours. So it's going to decrease the amount of time they can spend on TikTok and increase the amount of time they can spend actually learning. But the thing is, like, we want to be a negotiation. If it's too hard, a parental control, and you just don't have access to it, kids are very unhappy, and this is what's happening. So we can't really beat technology, so we want to join it, but use it at a real good advantage. And we also want to encourage some real-life challenges and some real-life rewards. So if you don't want your kids to spend more time on TikTok, you can put some real-life rewards, and it will be okay.
I think you should really start with this and try and, connect with real-life experiences, all the type of experiences, or ideally at least try and A/B test it. But I think you will struggle if the messaging is continue to use TikTok, but a bit less, and just after you've done your studies. But yeah, makes sense. Thanks for context.
Thank you.
Hello. I actually really like the way you pitched it because I think you're marketing to parents and you're just being realistic what parents actually care about. So actually I like that part. How do you measure success? How do you basically, once you attract the students, how do you make sure that I'm thinking about students, full of room. How do you make sure that the kids or like parents keep paying and they keep their kids on the platform? How do you measure success basically? In what sorts of, metrics you would show the parents that, hey, this app is working out for you?
So I guess the first KPI is how much screen time they have and what they do. And we want to have, like, for example, for the first week, the time they used to spend, so 8 hours. And then we want to show the trend that it shows that it's going down and that they're actually learning stuff. And with the education things, for example, if they reply well to math, we can give them some advices and show them what they're learning and how good they are and that they are actually improving. So as a parent, you will see that time is going down and skills are going up. And so we hope that this will help keep the LTV high.
Exactly, and we plan on implementing an AI feature that will adapt to the level of difficulty as the kid is increasing the knowledge, basically.
You're talking to investors about AI or parents? AI, okay, good. Thanks.
Right, yeah, this is a very impressive and ambitious project. I had a very basic question on the acquisition. What are your main channels of acquisition? Because as you know, with an app, it's quite a tricky one and expensive.
Yes, definitely.
You want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. Well, as we talked in the go-to-market strategy, we want to get the word out in traditional social media at the beginning. And we also done a lot of interviews with network providers and panel groups and educational institutions. And we think that this is where we can start with the parents. Like if someone knows that the app is working, they will talk to others, and with more marketing, hopefully it will start to build as a community, because as we know with such apps, the most important thing is to build a trusting community of people who see results. So we want to target those at the beginning.
And we've done a lot of interviews with teachers, and it's a massive problem that the kids are on their phone during class. And so we think, and talking to schools, they would actually push this app for free because they want the app to lock the phones, or at least TikTok, when they're in class. And so this is actually something good.
Thanks for answering the questions and for the great delivery in your presentation. My question was going to be on the fact that this is quite a competitive market. Despite it being an unresolved problem, I think a lot of people are trying to tackle it. You've got a very big business in the US called Zigazoo that isn't doing exactly what you're doing, but is trying to move away some of those kids to safer sort of social networks. And so how do you think about your moat, your unique selling point in what is becoming a very competitive market?
I think most of them, from what I've seen, are very academic. And we really want to make the learning experience fun. And this is why AI is super important. But also making our own content. The parent was saying, I'd rather have him watch Netflix. Well, if we can make some really... I grew up in France. C'est pas sorcier was a really big thing. I love to watch it. And if we could make something that is actually interesting and where kids learn, I think this will be a massive advantage, because we want kids to actually be happy to learn and not just be like, oh, I don't have TikTok, I have to do this. It's really where we want to create the fun with the challenges, with really a real community and real fun stuff.
Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, we're Brian and Tidora, the co-founders of Rebalance. Today, we're going to tell you about a problem that concerns almost all companies, but yet remains a huge taboo. It's the problem of non-food excess inventory. So, it's the problem of non-food excess inventory. Excess inventory are goods that were neither sold full price nor ones they got discounted during sales periods, for example. Sorry. During sales periods, for example. So although it's a huge problem with a market of 4.3 billion euros in France, companies have always avoided dealing with their unsold goods because it's a failure for them. But recently, several laws have been enacted in France, like the HEC law in January, and companies are now faced with external pressure to handle their overstock more efficiently and more responsibly.
So companies find themselves with hundreds of thousands of products that they don't know what to do with. Of course, the first solution is to store them, but it's expensive and it ties up capital. On average, storing a product costs 25% of its value a year. So companies have to find ways to dispose of these products, and they have to do it under very strict conditions, which is maximizing profitability, protecting brand image, and using a turnkey solution. So there are three options. First, clearance, where products end up being sold by the kilo for 5 or 10% of their price. Second is recycling, which makes no sense for a product that has never been used. And third, destruction, which is now prohibited under the HEC law from this year. So none of this solution is satisfactory for companies today.
This is why we've created Rebalance. Rebalance enables companies to make profit by donating their non-food excess inventory to charities. This may seem too good to be true, but with our donation as a service platform, we'll streamline the donation process. Indeed, donation already exists, but it's not digitalized, it is not seamless, and it is underexploited. This is why with Rebalance, we're going to make donation a no-brainer for companies with our three main features. The first one will allow the matching of unsold items and the right local charities. The second one, as Brian mentioned, companies want a turnkey solution, so we'll handle the logistics and its planification. And finally, in France today, there's a very high financial incentive to donate your unsold stock, but the process to actually benefit from this tax rebate is very painful. This is why we will automate the administrative process. This allows companies to benefit from three main advantages. The first one is financial, with a tax rebate of 60%. The second one is also financial, because they can reduce their storage cost. Their goods are stored much less time. And finally, today, their CSR commitment is becoming more regulated. So by using Rebalance, companies will be able to show their social engagement and boost their brand image.
About our business model, we want first to capitalize on our last two benefits, cost cuts and enhanced CSR, to ensure a recurring revenue. Secondly, we want to collect a take rate of 20% based on the value of the product. Basically, if a company donates a set of chairs whose cost price is 1,000 euros, Rebalance gets 200 euros. And at the end of the accounting term, the company gets its 60% tax rebate of 600 euros. Experts predict that the level of unsold goods will always remain around 5% of the company's sales, so on average. So basically, it's to be short, as long as retail exists, unsold goods will exist as well. We can see that it's a cross-vertical market, so where can we start? We decided to go first with the games and toys segment. We chose the game safe choice segment because it has a high value of unsold goods of 170 million euros. It is a segment with no brand image risk and with already a high maturity in donation. Within the game centers industry, we tackle small and medium-sized specialist retailers because they largely dominate the market. We acquire customers through CFOs and partnership with games producers. So our go-to-market strategy has been already very encouraging, with notably 100K worth of donation in discussion.
We believe we're the right team to launch this project. Brian has an experience in logistics working at Oversea and have an experience in operations and charities relations management at Résid Social. So if, like us, you want to see unsold goods make sense again, don't hesitate to vote for us tonight and scan our QR code. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm gonna kick off. I would like to understand a little bit more the way you tackle logistics.
We're going to externalize logistics, and we think we can really understand the issue of logistics with game and toys, and then address other segments like maybe furnishings, for example, or home goods. But first, we want to external logistics and find charities that can absorb a big quantity of unsold goods.
Yeah, maybe just building on the question. Yeah, I think it's a really noble mission and very impactful mission. So congratulations for dedicating your time on this. Building on the logistics question, I guess a big challenge is going to be to make the unit economics work. So you're going to have an average sort of order size, and in front of that, you're going to have the logistic costs and the marketing costs, etc. So can you maybe unpack a little bit how you think about those unit economics and how you make it work? Because that's, I think, a big part of the challenge for this type of business.
So to be totally transparent, it's still something we are building on, and we want to see this with our first customers as well. But we believe that that's why we want to price an annual subscription for our other advantages, and then we can have a commission on each transportation and each commuting of logistics. So we think that we can make this work like this with an annual subscription plus a commission on each commute.
Got it. Thank you.
My question, and thank you, by the way, for the presentation. My question is going to be on understanding the incentives that those corporates have to donate. One of the issues I see is that they're having to put some upfront cash. They're paying you 200 euros, and they're waiting until the end of the year, maybe next year, to get the tax rebates. Versus the alternative being they sell at a discount and they don't need to put any. So it may be more profitable for them, but I wonder whether the cash element is a hurdle, one. And then two, from a reporting standpoint, without going into too much details, but they will probably have to book that payment they pay you, as part of their EBITDA calculations, and so it will hit their profitability from an EBITDA standpoint, although from a cash it will still be. And this is two examples just to try to understand whether you've thought about the incentives of those corporates when it comes to transacting with you.
Yeah. So first, we're not competing with their own discounts. So unsold goods are really the end of the value chain. And that's what we're trying to show to them, that's storing the goods they're not selling. So they didn't get to sell it through discounts, through internal to their own personnel, etc. So they're making savings on storage costs. And the second point is also that they can then communicate around their CSR commitment. So that's why we want to encourage them to do so. And regarding cash, they also have, when the goods are stored, they are accounting, they're depreciating in accounting terms. So they are incentivized not to let them in storage for too long. And so I think that's why today they're looking for ways to dispose of this stock as quickly as they can.
Yeah, just a quick one. you're hitting like the right spot, right? It's exactly the right time to be building this company in the circular economy and everything. So you'll be supported by market tailwinds for sure. I'm just wondering, is there a way to not work against the market in some ways, but with the market? So I'm thinking about like platforms like Vinted, you know, different sorts that already exist, have incredible sort of user base, right? That you can integrate with, work with. Have you even spoken to them maybe or thought about it or?
I think the main difference with Vinted, for example, is that here we are dealing with unsold goods that are brand new. They have never been used, so it's not it's kind of circular economy, but it's not really second hand. But yeah, that could be an idea.
This is the construction site for the Olympic swimming pool. So this is a huge project of 175 million euros. And on a project this big, site managers have to handle several hundreds of people on a daily basis. They can receive up to 200 emails per day. And also they have to know nearly 1 million pages of documents for legal reasons. Now, let's say that we take all of these pages, that we print them out, and then we stack them on top of each other, and we would have a 100-meter high tower of paper. This is the size of the Big Ben. Now, let's say that we wanted to read all of these pages. We would have 7 years of reading, meaning nearly 5 times the time of the duration of the project. So the problem is clear. First, there are way too much information. You have blueprints, you have plannings, you have contracts, and so on. Then all of this information are updated on a regular basis, meaning it's harder to find the right information. And so the consequence is clear. It's bad communication on construction site, and also, well, costly mistakes.
The problem that Leonie just explained is the biggest pain in the life of a construction site manager. So that's our user persona. We're dealing with people who manage multiple sites at the same time, who work really, really long hours. I used to be a person like that, and I can confirm that it's very, very frustrating and exhausting. So let's dive into the day of a construction site officer. So let's say that today, I'm dealing with a broken pipe. So what am I going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is assess the impact of a broken pipe on my schedule. So I'm going to go look into a very complicated and sophisticated software on talking about my planning. I'm going to dig into a few Excel sheets to complete the information. Then I have to write a report to my client. So I'm going to go look into literally hundreds of documents and even emails to find the correct information. It's exhausting, it takes a lot of time, and it's really a shame because it can be avoided.
So this problem of poor data management is so costly for the construction industry. The construction market is $12 trillion, and 15% of it, almost $2 trillion, is lost due to this problem that has 2 main consequences: a huge loss of productivity, but also really costly mistakes that leads to reworks and legal disputes. In order to solve this problem, we present you our solution, M-Oni AI, an AI assistant which provides site manager with the answer to any question they have on a construction site. So how do we do it? We take all the data that exists on a construction site, we insert them into our AI model, which provides site manager with the exact information they need only in a few seconds.
So let's take the example of the broken pipe again. If I had M-Oni AI with me, I would have asked him to give me an update about the issue of the broken pipe. What I would have gotten back as an answer is a very contextualized, precise answer with references to names, to emails, the content of emails, to contracts. And the most important thing is that you can directly access these documents in one click from the application. This doesn't really exist in the construction world today, so we've divided our competition into 3 parts. First, you have the usual very complicated and sophisticated softwares that are used on construction sites. They're really not practical for everyday use. Then we have information management softwares. They're really not practical for accurate and finding information quickly. And we also have new AI assistants that are not at all specialized for the construction site.
So yes, we're looking at new constructions in Europe, and the cost of bad data management within this market is around 1.4 billion dollars.
So there are two kinds of clients that are really interested by our solution. General contractors, obviously, we're aiming at the top 100 in Europe. And also project owner who conceives and finances the projects, such as real estate developers or governments. They suffer from the exact same problem. So those clients will pay two things: an enterprise subscription that will allow them to remain the data that is organized, that will cost them 30,000 euros per month, and a subscription per project which will depend on the budget of the construction site. The higher the budget is, the more we will charge them.
We have great news. We have two POCs planned, both in April and May. So one is with a top 10 French contractor, and the second one is with a major European project owner. So both of them, we will charge them 3,000 euros per month for a beta version. But that's not it. First, for 2025, we want to scale fast, and we have a target of 50 projects. And for 2026, we plan on expanding to Middle East, first because obviously it's a growing market, but also because we have a co-founder that has an established network there.
M-Oni is a fantastic team. We have Leonie, who's had experience in site project management, Alexis, who's dealt with waste management, myself, who's worked on construction site, and we have Rodolphe, who's not here, but who's our AI expert. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, such a charming team, I have to say. Sorry, I just really enjoyed this. Structured data versus unstructured data. Most often it's unstructured data. How do we deal with that?
So actually we take like all the data and we have created like embeddings and vectorization models that will clean the data before we insert them into our RAG. It is an interface which functionate with the LLM model that we are hosting in our servers. So actually you can take a lot of data even if they are not cleaned.
Thank you for that presentation. My question is on a sector and a vertical like this one, construction, which is highly critical and where one mistake can potentially be quite costly. How do you think about like the hallucination problem within AI and how to resolve that?
Yes, so in our beta version, we have a way of answering to the questions from site managers, which is we give them the 3 top contracts that are associated with their question. And also they can inspect those documents. So meaning when they open the documents, they find themselves on the page that is concerned. So they can check as well for themselves. And it's a way also for us to not be legally liable.
The more we have some clients, the more of our model is going to be performant. So it's quite
the first clients will get a ton of mistakes and it will get better. Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, for me, vertical AI in an unsexy vertical is the way to go. That's also where I built my company. So I was really excited to hear your pitch. And I'm really looking forward to see where you guys go. Yeah, I guess the question for me that's always a big one is the sort of value you think you can capture with your software for your clients. You've mentioned, labor cost and productivity, and my experience is it's often not sufficient because the pool you're working on is essentially labor cost, and so you can't really price as much as you would want, and so the contract size ends up being too small. And so I wonder how you think about the other value drivers of using your system and how you want to prove that you can reduce errors in particular, and how you actually capture more value than just labor cost.
That's a really excellent question. So
thank you.
So yes, of course. I mean, we have an appendix side with our impact. So we save hours. So we save labor costs, which is the biggest pain, really, especially on a construction site. We estimate that we can reduce errors just because you're able to find the correct information quickly. So overall, this represents 7% of the budget of a construction project. To go beyond all this, we also have our future product roadmap where we have plans to use this data to go beyond just the construction site. So, yeah.
And to top that, also we have the enterprise subscription. So it is for both project owner and contractor. And for contractor, it is valuable for them to keep this data because for the future project efficiency, because they have to write the right suppliers on an old project and stuff like that. And for the project owners, it's actually really important to have this type of data because for maintenance purposes, renovation for those people, for instance, data centers, they have to do current renovation, but they don't have the data to know if for instance, the wires are supposed to stay there for a long time. And so that's why also we think that there is a lot of, it's valuable to keep this data for them.
And for legal disputes too.
Also.
I had a question on the scalability of your business, because if you have to gather and take a lot of time, taking data from different sources.
Yes, so yeah. So actually, as you know, there are like the top 80 contractors and project owner are over 1 billion, have over 1 billion euros in revenue in Europe. So those are the main ones. And so we plan on scaling mostly with projects within those companies, actually, because they are the ones also that multiply the projects.
So, hi everyone, we are Elise, Felix and Laura and we created Uzu. Now, let me take you on a journey into the daily life of a pharmacist. You have to understand, 80% of his annual revenue comes from loyal consumers. These consumers are crucial for him. He loves them, he advises them, and he tries to keep them his entire life. The problem? Well, it's a one-sided relationship, since the customer actually cheats with 3.5 other pharmacies. The one where he lives, the one where he works, the one where he shops, and the one where he goes on holidays. To be the chosen one, the pharmacist has identified a very appealing offer, beauty and wellness products, on which he can apply very hard discounts and give ultra-personalized advice. It's still not enough, since the consumer actually never hears about those hard discounts and personalized advices, and when he does, it's either by chance or too late.
And why is it too late? Because in actual fact, outside his store, the pharmacist is a really poor communicator. Because it's not his core business, and because he's submitted to a very restrictive legislation in France imposed by the Ordre des Pharmaciens. We have talked to more than 50 pharmacists, and they all face that same challenge. They have no reach on social media, and while they manage to connect to a potential customer, they do it all wrong. They spam him with unimpactful messages. Existing solutions are not satisfying enough at the moment. Brands tried, pharmacy tried, group tried, but they all fall short because they neither have coverage and nor this personalization that will bring back genuinely the customer to the pharmacy.
So you may wonder how we will personalize more and reach out more consumers. Well, thanks to our super innovative AI model. Over a year, we collected data and collaborated with experts to understand better skin types and components behind beauty products. This algorithm will match you with the best product and best offer that your skin really needs. Picture this. As a user, you just download the Uzu app and then you undergo a powerful skin diagnosis. Then, you just have to follow your favorite pharmacies. And then it's as easy as possible. When you shop, you can use your Uzu card. You will earn discounts, rewards, and personalized samples. Personalized samples matching with your real needs. For the pharmacist, it couldn't be more easier, since he just have to choose which product he wants to discount, and then he updates his software. Uzu will take over the whole campaign, increasing his traffic conversion and his traffic rates. We will test this concept next week with our first book in these two highly motivated pharmacies.
And after that, we will be fully ready to launch our solution. Among 20,000 pharmacies in France, we identified more than 1,300 ones to be our potential early adopters. Indeed, they have a strong focus on beauty products, more than 50% of their revenue. In order to go even faster, we are talking with M-Oni, a raising pharmacy software, in order to be featured in their catalog. And after, in 2 years, we will be able to begin our international expansion, first in markets very similar to France, I mean Spain and Germany, and then in the UK, where independent pharmacists really need us to compete against Boots. And why will pharmacy trust us? Because of our raising community. In less than 1 month, starting from scratch, we managed to reach out more than 500,000 unique viewers without any paid promotion.
And in addition to this booming community, we'll offer super competitive price to pharmacies in order to spread as fast as possible. And actually, I could just stop there. Having developed this super sexy loyalty program, actually the best loyalty program in the market. But at Uzu, we're looking beyond. We know that we sit on a gold mine of data, the data of physical customers of beauty brands. We know that these brands are ready to pay a lot to gain access to this knowledge they do not have about their physical customer. In other verticals, and with similar business models, Joko raised 10 million euros in 2022 and fetched reward more than $300 million in the US market. The cosmetic data market is currently booming and it's planned to double its size by 2028 in Europe. It is time for Uzu to break in.
And for that, we have Felix, a data and deep learning expert who codes the best algorithm, Laura, a cosmetic aficionado who is leading the animation and acquisition of the community. And as for me, with my background in strategy and finance, with a strong focus on the beauty industry, I can bring the market perspective to Uzu. And we are not alone in this project. We are backed by several experts in pharmacy, brand management in beauty, and dermatology.
In essence, Uzu isn't just another loyalty program. It's a game-changer technology poised to revolutionize how brands and pharmacists interact with their physical consumer. So if you're eager to try, you can scan this QR code and be one of the first to try our skin diagnosis and very personalized discounts and offers. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that great presentation. One question I had is, how do you get over the cold start problem? How do you incentivize both pharmacies and customers to come?
So for pharmacies, the way we incentivize is very simple. We know that it will increase their traffic, but also le panier moyen. We estimated that they will win more than around 5 or 3 euros more in the panier moyen. And for the users, we actually benchmarked doing customer interviews, and we know that what they are searching is precise advices from the pharmacist in stores. So that's why they want to go there, to have really excellent and informed advices to get the right product for their skin, which is why our AI model actually helps the pharmacist to even improve his range.
Do you want to go next? Okay, because I had the same question, but I'm going to come up with another question. Yeah, I guess, so business model, thank you for clarifying. How do you think about acquiring pharmacies in France? Because I think you mentioned there's thousands of pharmacies, I guess. And I'm assuming it's pretty painful to go to each of those pharmacies one by one and create the network. So how do you think about this?
So that's the reason why first we have the partnership with M-Oni. So M-Oni is a LGO, so logiciel de caisse, and so they can have us in their catalog. So it's easy for us to talk with pharmacy because it's easy for us to be plugged in their solution. And also the thing is, in France, pharmacies are not totally independent. There are a lot of groups of pharmacies with one group, it's hundreds of pharmacies. So if we have a partnership with this group, we can reach hundreds of pharmacies in one shot.
Maybe if I just had, I can add something. We already are talking to Aprium Pharmacy, who have more than 400 pharmacies in France. So it will be a huge shot if we could start with them, of course.
So he had my first question. He had my second question. So now, no, but interesting problem. I know this quite quite intimately from also my dad who worked in the space. But just going a step deeper, right? Thinking like, because pharmacists, like you go in the pharmacy, you say, I need a paracetamol, and they're like, oh, no, I don't have time. Like, you know, I mean, I'm making a joke, right? But we're trying to, but how do you get their mind share? But like, is there someone else that would benefit from this more? I'm getting to someone, but like, is there some other groups that would benefit more from this, you think, that would get you even faster adoption? Because pharmacy groups is closer, but who else would, what other organizations may possibly benefit from this data revolution that would get you?
We're actually thinking, for example, to then first, of course, we will learn pharmacies very well and like have proof that it can work. And then we are thinking about, for example, beauty salon or beauty advisors that really need this type of thing to like attract consumers and make them stay. So we know that we have levels to grow even beyond pharmacies.
How do you think you can convince brands to literally compete on your royalty platform for discount, you know, one against the other?
Actually, pharmacies already do offering discounts to customers, and they doing it or with brands, and so the brand decide that the discount will be exclusive to this brand, obviously. But it also happens a lot that pharmacy decide to take on the margin to discount a specific brand that they know customers are liking to increase their traffic. So it's a very common practice, and we will not change anything on this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How do you expect nurses, factory workers, truck drivers to apply for their job positions using the same job forms that we all use to apply for BCG or Goldman Sachs? Well, this is obviously not happening. That's why the deskless workforce is falling apart all over Europe and the UK. Not enough applications come through. In 2023, the percentage of companies struggling to fill open job positions reached its highest peak in the last 17 years. And the cost to recruit each single deskless worker reached €5,000 in Europe. But who are the deskless workers? Well, according to Forbes, these are all the employees who do not work with a computer. They all have very different job activities, but they all share very similar habits and needs.
And these are the same needs and habits as when it comes to applying for a job. When they apply, what they need is an application which is accessible on the mobile phone, that you can do on the go easily, on the metro or on the bus. What they see is 59% of applications being non-mobile optimized, and almost half of companies demanding a sign-in on the career site. So it's not easy to apply. To qualify them, what you need are functional skills. It's simple jobs. But recruiters demand CVs and cover letters filled with unnecessary information, which is difficult for the recruiters to evaluate, but even more difficult for these candidates to provide. Now, to communicate with them, you call them, they don't pick up. You email them. The average time for an email response, both ways, is 2 to 7 days. Within this time, you're going to lose the candidates you need to fill these essential positions. But where are they? Every day on WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger.
Over a dinner a few months ago, we were discussing about these problems, and that's when Francisco said, what if applying for a job position was just as easy as sending a message on WhatsApp? And that's exactly what Blueco does. Blueco enables companies to let their candidates apply through WhatsApp. Candidates click apply through WhatsApp, scan a QR code, swipe up an Instagram story, and they automatically open the WhatsApp application on their phones. Once on it, they answer a few quick automated questions, and the Blueco software does all the rest. It pre-screens the candidates, providing the recruiters with only those who are pre-qualified for the job role. It creates the application for them, and creates a direct channel of communication between the recruiter's computer and the candidate's WhatsApp.
So we did 2 pilots to validate the solution, and what we saw was recruiters receive more qualified applications, reduce their time to hire significantly, and modernize their employer brand. So this shift in recruitment is something for the long run. Blueco is very easy to adopt. It goes anywhere a job is currently distributed. So a career site, job platforms like Indeed, social media campaigns, QR codes. and integrates with over 50 application tracking systems. This means that we don't replace current recruiting systems. We simply improve them. Any application that comes through Blueco goes straightly synced onto the system that recruiters currently use. We're targeting a 2.5 billion euro market. This focuses on companies hiring deskless workers with over 150 employees, focusing on the undercontended markets, so not North America, and specifically on the entry countries of France and the UK. Now, 2.5 billion is a lot, but this is 80% of the workforce in these two countries. But we're going to go to market with healthcare because they have the most urgent recruiting needs and a perfect regulatory environment with 12,000 companies, 8 of which we've already tested the product with, and they're ready to sign a deal. Competition is heavy in this sector. Our direct competitors, though, are only in the US. This leaves us to be the European champions. We're competing against talent pooling and recruiting agencies, which provide a much higher cost for much lower results. Of course, we know the other easy mobile-friendly application players, like Talking Jobs, but they fall far short of what Blueco provides.
We operate on a monthly subscription with a one-time implementation fee. The prices would vary depending on how big the company is. The ones you see here are just an average. But what's important to mention is that our costs remain low and stable, regardless the number of customers we have. We already validated the product with 2 pilot contracts. We have a pipeline of almost 150K after just 3 weeks of sales. These are all companies that already tested the product, expressed their interest in it, and asked us for a final offerings that we'll finalize during next weeks. And we did all of this completely bootstrapped. For the next 9 months, we aim to achieve 500K in ARR. First, by expanding into other sectors in France and here in UK, and second, expanding geographically by the beginning of 2025. But where are we now? We already interviewed hundreds of companies and candidates. We built the first version of the product, as Francisco said, and we've been recently selected into the Founders Program, the most selective in-house program of Station F, making us the only team of the Launchpad being incubated there. I'm Nicolas. I worked in BCG, and I got direct experience on a recruitment project. And here's Francisco, who got the direct experience into the field and has the perfect technical knowledge to build the Blueco product and to grow it from a scalable point of view. But now enough with the words. Please take out your phone, scan the QR code, and try a Blueco application.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. Thanks so much. This was great. I also, there's this business Sarah Care in UK as well that's working, has developed a really great sort of platform to recruit nurses in particular. And as you know, social workers is also like a massive gap. My key question is recruiting is still a problem, but what's bigger problem is how do we keep those people? How do we kind of drive retention as well after? Is there anything you can do with the data you collect to actually drive that, which would be really exciting?
Well, first of all, the short answer is yes. But when we talk about stickiness, we talk about the results. The increased number of qualified applications is evident, at least 64%, at least with our pilots. When they see this, it's not going to be easy to let go of Blueco, because they let go of a huge pipeline of candidates that's currently benefiting them, and they increase their time to hire after using us. So it's not an easy choice for them to make.
Yeah, thank you for that presentation. My question is, I agree with the problem being that there's a very big shortage of blue-collar workers in Europe and generally. I just don't understand how, your solution with WhatsApp is going to solve it. Isn't the problem that we don't have enough people generally here, and aren't recruitment agencies doing a better job than what you're suggesting at going to the source and finding those people in the country and bringing them over to Western Europe?
Well, the problem that we understood by speaking with the companies and looking at data is that actually companies are already investing in social media campaigns to get all the candidates from the social media, from the QR code on the metro, etc., on the website. Once on the website, that's where the wall is. Because candidates have in front of them the old traditional methods in which they have to insert manually all the information, upload the CV, upload the PDF, then ask for the confirmation through the email doesn't work, etc. That's when they lose the first big portion of the candidates. Then, during the process, having such a long process, companies basically spend almost 2 months from the start of the application to the moment in which they interview people. In those 2 months, people could potentially go to other competitors. And finally, they do not have the right of communicating with them. So once they start to call them, they do not answer. With this application, with this Blueco application, everything is automated on WhatsApp. And so all the candidates that reach the website are actually converted into the final interview.
And I'd like to say, of course, we know about the workforce shortage. We're not here to change macroeconomics, increase the number of people in the population. But that's what makes each candidate that's lost in the process that much more crucial.
How are you, on the other side, it's like a marketplace, how are you going to attract the candidates onto your platform?
The Blueco application can be spread wherever job positions are currently put on. It means that it can be embedded into the career website of the company. So once the candidates get on the website, just click apply through WhatsApp instead of applying through a normal application. It can be also embedded into other job platforms, such as LinkedIn, France Travail, the Expo L'Emploi. And also the third important channel is obviously social media. So for the moment, we do cover WhatsApp. It will be directly possible to connect people from the other social media to the WhatsApp application with just a swipe up. In the future, we're also including Facebook Messenger and potentially other type of social media to allow companies, to allow candidates directly to apply on them. Finally, a fourth channel through which we will be able to let the candidates get a higher amount of candidates is through QR codes. So the QR codes, you can imagine you get into Zara, there's a QR code on the wall, work with us, whichever person that gets in, scan the QR code, and in 2 minutes, the application is done. The rest is done by the process.
But furthermore, what you're speaking about is talent attraction. This is the part of the funnel of the recruitment process that Blueco takes care of. We don't take care of the talent attraction. That's up to the recruiter. But when the recruiter does it, whether they do it well or they do it wrong, when the applicants get there to the form, that's where they drop out. So that's why we're focusing on this part of the process.
Very clear, thank you.
I would say, I mean, first of all, definitely a big problem. Really great to hear you using, AI and digital for blue collars. I guess you went quite quickly on the competition landscape, but just from the quick glance, it felt like there's no real strong difference between what you're doing and those two US players. And so I wonder how you think about time to market. Is the idea that you're building the same thing, but you're building the European giant while they're building the US giant? Or can you just give us a bit more perspective there?
The latter of what you said is closer to what we're doing. We see something is working extremely well in the US, and we're building something extremely similar to be the European champions for this market.
Got it. Because usually you create those slides really showing that you're the only one with all the ticks, and all the ones are just crosses. And this time it's not the case. So thanks for clarifying.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, hi everybody, we are Bruno, Erwan and Arno, and we're very happy to be here tonight. So, what a nice slide, don't you think? Don't worry, you'll only be in front of it for the next 10 seconds. But imagine, just imagine, spending your entire day trying to find information in PDFs like the one you see on your left, and then copy, paste each piece of information in forms like the one you see on your right. Days after day, during hours. So we're talking about order management here. How does it work? So a distributor needs a product. He sends a purchase order to one of its suppliers, and the sales administration team of this supplier will receive this order and will have to deal with the difficult task that I described before. And so, again, this task is finding relevant information in spreadsheets, PDFs, emails, and then manually add it to internal ERP softwares. And that's where it gets really interesting. Because for a company like Prud'homme Transmission, these single tasks represent 14% of its EBITDA spent every year. So that's huge, and that's where Edon steps in. So we want to simplify interaction with ERP softwares and give superpower to sales administration teams. So we time them for 50 interactions with the ERP software, where a human alone will need 6 hours to get the job done. A human helped by Edon will only need 30 minutes.
Now, an important question. How does it work? Well, on one side, you have your raw data. Those are your emails, spreadsheets, and PDF. And on the other side sits your ERP, waiting to be fed with new information. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to use a pre-trained LLM to structure the data. At this point, the data is generally incomplete and can be sometimes incorrect. So to solve this issue, we need to speak with the software using the API. On top of this API, we built a symbolic AI model in collaboration with the Listen research team. This model will have the complex task of finding the missing data and correcting the wrong information. This combination of a pre-trained LLM and a symbolic AI model is what we call the Edon agent. And you know what? It can work both ways. You can input new data into your software or ask questions directly to the agent to find information from your databases. Concerned about privacy? We got you covered. We use token encryptions and make sure to host our own model to protect the data of our clients. At the moment, we developed a POC using exactly this architecture for our master thesis.
So as we saw before, huge amounts are wasted every year on these manual ERP filling tasks. But first, in order to address this huge market, we want to focus on one little niche, which is French SMEs using Sage as their ERP software. But why Sage? Well, Sage is the most popular ERP among French and European SMEs. So we spend days and days next to the sales assistant, observing the way they interact with the software, the way they work with it. And you know what? Well, Sage is a complex tool, just as complex as SAP and larger tools. But these small companies don't have the resources internally to personalize them and to make them easy to use. So today we are working with 2 clients who gave us access to their ERP softwares, and we are developing our MVP with them. So our distribution strategy, of course, we have direct sales, but on top of that, we identified 2 elements that we will use. The first one is ERP marketplaces, because all ERPs are hard tools, so they develop marketplaces where you can buy add-ons to make the use of the tool easier. Then we have ERP system integrators. Those companies are responsible for implementing an ERP software to their clients. And we will use them as resellers for our solution. So we will charge a flexible price to our clients based on the number of interactions that they will have with our agent. So for our first version on Sage, which will be launched in Q3 2024, we will start at 500 euros per month for 1,000 tasks. So the team is composed of Erwan and Arnaud, who are both students at Centrale Supélec, specialized in artificial intelligence, and myself, student at HEC Paris in the Master X-HEC Entrepreneurs. So the key milestone for us is to finish the beta testing phase with our 2 first paying clients. Then in June, we will release our V1. We have already firms in the pipe to adopt our solution. And in November, we will raise funds and start developing our solution for SAP. So thank you for listening. Vote for us, and please scan the QR code if you want to join the waiting list.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think it's very brave to start with Les Prud'hommes as a first client. I wonder how agile and fast they are on iterating with you guys.
It's not Prud'homme like the law. It's Prud'homme Transmission, so it's like the last name of the founder of this company. And actually, they develop products for industry.
Yeah, I guess the question is, obviously there's been massive companies built in RPA and process automation, and the task you describe come across as being quite repetitive and sort of routine, unless I misunderstood. And so I wonder how you think about your solution in comparison with the giants and like UiPath or WorkFusion in RPA, and whether the task you're going after requires a better tech that UiPath is not able to address.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we could discuss the whole landscape. So first you have Zapier and Make, and actually they have the same problem as UiPath, because you have to for each task that you want to teach them or that you want to tackle, you'll have to develop another automation. So for Zapier, you have to create a Zap for each task, depending on what you have as source and where you want to put the data. And UiPath, you have to show what you want to do. So it's computer vision, it's like Excel macro. And you have for each task to show the system what you are going to do. And the problem is with that is when you have two different tasks, depending on the information you get from your client, for example, you will have to develop a lot of automation, which is a huge amount of work, and this cannot work, simply not work.
My question was similar, but in a sense, I'm curious to the comparison you make with maybe some of the invoice management softwares like a Spandesk, or even I would say even like a Conto, who is trying to go into that area, maybe not exactly addressing what you're addressing, but I think there's a trend with those big players that they're trying to eat more of that area. They're trying to automate things more. They're trying to digitize things more. How do you feel about the addressable market as a result?
So yes, actually, it's very interesting. There is a lot of possible use cases. Actually, filling in ERPs is very complex, and there are a lot of people, a lot of different people in the society interacting with this software. So we really want to address this first use case, which is S&OP, so sales and operation teams. So in these processes of order and sales management. Then, of course, we identify the next steps for us, which is HR, accountants, product, supply chain. But for now, we really focus on this one task. We want to specialize our product in these tasks. And actually today, with our technology, we are the only one to do it.
Thanks so much. Love the energy. I can definitely tell you guys are having fun with this. So that's really nice to hear.
That's true.
Maybe just a quick one on data, right? You had a nice slide on structured data. I think I'm yet to see a few more companies besides XTX, of course, with very structured data internally, right? How do you go around that, right? Because most of the data is just messy.
Yes, so the main input source is PDF data purchase order. So we combine OCR and LLM in order to structure this data. And as I said, most of the time it's incomplete and incorrect. This is why we have to combine this approach with a symbolic AI approach that will do the rest of the job and find the right place and the right spot to input this data correctly into the software of the company.
Is it clear, or?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I mean, I don't know how much time we have, but yeah, because it's gonna require quite a lot of kind of power to to make sure that doesn't sort of hallucinate and everything kind of.
No, exactly.
Easily,
so we don't have problem with hallucination because LLM is only on the information extraction tasks, and they're actually really good at this. If you're able to prompt it correctly, and we use few shot learning, find the right measure, you can have really good performances. Like we have 90% of accuracy just with the LLM that is not fine-tuned or anything.
And then connect automatically when you say that. Can you just explain that?
Yeah, and that's where, so to avoid if actually he does hallucinate, first of all, we have human in the loop. So the idea is that we'll not send the data automatically. We'll first show it to the user, and actually we'll be able to highlight where we see, for example, problematic values. For example, they added a 0 to the quantity. That's strange compared to what they usually get, and we can highlight that. So help them to quickly see where are the problems. And this system, symbolic AI, is deterministic, and we stop. So we have we coded ways to stop or not let it destroy the database that we have after. So if the LLM makes any mistakes, this will be able to stop.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, wow. So I guess you're all hesitating how to vote now. I don't know if you have your favorite project. So the votes are still open for those of you online. So making sure you can scan this. If you're online, again, the link is below the description on YouTube or LinkedIn. So I hope you can vote. And so for our dear jury, so what did you think? So without giving us too much information, Maybe Adrien, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really impressed. I didn't realize coming in that those teams have been working at this for only 7 weeks, if I understood correctly, and the sort of level of maturity and thinking about the right questions is really striking and impressive. So always humbling to be a jury at those moments. So thanks a lot. Was very impressed.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Likewise, very impressed by the quality and the work that the students have put into that, and also by some of the projects are super mature and just ready to go. So, well done.
Okay, so don't say more. We're going now to go in the deliberation room, and then we'll come back as soon as we have more information for you. So in the meantime, please continue voting. The team will let you know when the votes are closed, and then see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Social media is a legal drug that we give on unlimited basis to our kids. Social media is a legal drug that we give on unlimited basis to our kids. It is a real, strong, and impactful addiction. The average teenager in the US spends roughly 8.5 hours on their phone, mainly watching TikTok or Instagram. In a lifespan, this is 30 years of their life spent watching girls dancing, dolphin jumpings, pimple piercing, and whatever useless crap the algorithm decides to show them. This is where we intervene at Brightly with our smart educational reward-based mechanism. We allow parents to decide how much time their kids can spend on their phone, and once this amount has been reached, Brightly will load the other apps and provide an education app that allows kids to engage with educational content. And if they answer well, like with any other video games, they will earn experience that will allow them to buy some reward, such as a well-deserved 10-minute TikTok break from their hard work. So with Brightly, instant dopamine is no longer an option, no more fighting, and no more addiction. Thank you for watching.
There, we're Leonie, Alexis, and Naima, and we're here to introduce M-Oni, an AI assistant that provides construction site managers with all the answers to their questions.
So imagine a world where site managers easily navigate through thousands of contracts, blueprints, and emails without the hassle of bad data management. So that's the reality with M-Oni. In the construction industry, managing data can be a nightmare. Information overload, inaccessible updates, and poor communication lead to costly mistakes. But with M-Oni, we're changing the game.
Our platform seamlessly integrates all site data, enabling users to pinpoint the exact information they need within seconds. The impact: M-Oni not only saves site engineers up to 2 hours daily, but also saves 7% of a project budget. It's not just an assistant, it's a game changer for the construction industry.
We can't wait to dive deeper and share more about M-Oni with you at the Grand Pitch Night next Wednesday. Join us to see how we're building the future of construction management. See you there.
Today, pharmacies are facing a key issue. Even though beauty products should be a key acquisition lever, consumers are actually leaving the pharmacies to go buy beauty products at larger distribution retailers who actually have more interesting prices and more interesting products.
Clearly, compared to Sephora or Boots, independent pharmacies do seem a little bit outdated.
Here comes Uzu. Envision a loyalty program you will finally be loyal to. We give pharmacists the tool to finally stand out in such a highly competitive environment.
We created a groundbreaking AI technology that assesses the chemistry behind your routine. So say goodbye to anti-aging products while you're 20 and hello to products that truly resonate with you. You get ultra-personalized samples and discounts based on the exact need of your skin, perfectly tailored to your routine.
Yuzu finally empowers pharmacists to attract and retain a clientele desperate for exclusive and tailored experiences.
The difficulty to recruit deskless workers is an undeniable fact. Very few applications come through, and just some of them are actually qualified for the job role.
But are we certain that it's easy for a deskless worker to apply with the current process?
Alors là,
Pas du tout. Non. Pas du tout, non.
Non. Non, le processus n'est pas fait pour l'utilisation du portable.
With Blueco, we offer AI-enabled automated chat applications, letting workers who don't use computers daily apply easily through WhatsApp for a faster application that can be done on the go.
In 2 minutes, the application is done. The candidate's profile is automatically created and integrated into the recruiter's current systems.
Thanks to our pre-screening, recruiters only see candidates who are properly qualified for the position. Recruiters can reach out directly to candidates on the same channel that they applied, through WhatsApp.
Vote for Blueco.
Today, British companies spend £5 billion a year to keep their internal management softwares up to date. We call them ERPs. The task of updating these systems is given to sales administration teams who spend up to 80% of their time on data entry or retrieval using these less than ergonomic interfaces.
At Edon, we use symbolic AI approach to give superpowers to your sales systems. We invented a totally new way of interacting with your software. We developed a chat where you can easily input new data into your ERP or ask questions to retrieve information from your databases.
The result is a 12-fold increase in the productivity of sales administration teams. Instead of spending 6 hours on 50 interactions with their ERP, they will spend only 30 minutes. By increasing their productivity on this tedious task, we enable them to spend more time with their clients, producing real value for their company.
This chair seems in perfect condition, right? Well, yes it is, because it's brand new.
However, like hundreds of thousands of products each year, it will be thrown away and never be used by anyone. This is the problem of unsold non-food items. Although it concerns all companies, it remains a huge taboo in the retail industry.
The inabilities of companies to manage their unsold goods embodies a real system failure. On one hand, it's an economic pain for companies who are missing out on earnings, but on the other hand, it's a social and ecological disaster. We are producing goods that will never be used.
But this was before Rebalance. With Rebalance, we are enabling companies to make profit by donating their excess inventory to charities.
Seems too good to be true, but our donation as a service platform streamlines the donation process and its logistics and automates the tax rebate benefit for companies.
With Rebalance,
make donation the go-to solution for your overstock.
And with that, the 2023 season comes to an end. Good night.
Feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen, Mr.
Okay, so we have our winners. Okay, so we're going to announce them. But first, maybe just before, Gabrielle, do you want maybe to say a few words? What happened in that room?
It was a very small room, dark room. We were fighting each other, like is gonna win. It was difficult, very difficult. Quality teams tonight. It was great. Thank you so much. But there's only one winner or two winners. One winner, two winners.
Two winners. Yeah. Two winners. So I think we're going to start with the announcement of the prize of the Grand Jury. So the jury prize. And Gabrielle, you want maybe to announce the prize?
Yeah. So some noise. So we selected the team of Alexis, Léonie, Naïma de M-Oni AI.
Congratulations. Do you want to say a few words?
We have one team member missing. So if anyone has seen Alexis.
Okay, so a few words.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I'm so glad that you liked our pitch, and also we had a pleasure building this project together. So going on construction site together, it's really a pleasure. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Ramsey, do you want to say a few words maybe about why that choice?
Absolutely. I mean, we really all loved the presentation you gave. We loved the energy. We could feel the pain that you were describing. And here he is. Yeah, so we love the energy. We love the description of the pain. We probably don't think it's the biggest market out there, but we think it's also one that is, not being addressed by a lot of people. And so we have confidence that you'll be able to hopefully build an amazing company out of it. And congrats and good luck.
Thank you. So now, Ramsey, you're going to announce the price of the audience.
So we've been hearing people calling their grandmother and grandfather back at home and stuff like that. But no jokes aside, congratulations to the winners, Francisco Nicolo from Blueco.
A few words.
Thank you, everyone that made it possible. Guillaume, Rémi, Matthias, and everyone that participated in the Blueco project.
Yeah, thank you to the jury for being here. Thank you to our coaches, the VC coaches who mentored us, Guillaume as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You want?
Yeah, you were late, but you get to.
That's for AB.
Totally worth it.
So thank you all. So I think now we're going to take a picture that will be then on the Creative Lab, the room in the HEC UK house for the next year, together with the winners of last year. It's a new tradition. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone who made that evening possible. So thank you to the team in London. Thank you to Wendy, Laura, Marie, and Joanna. Thank you to the team coming from Paris, the team from the Launchpad, Guillaume, Inge, Sophie, Fabrice, Rémi, Matthias, and the rest of the team. Thank you. Thank you to our technical team who came from the campus, from Jouy, to be with us, Cédric, Alain, Philippe, and Alex. And thank you again to all the entrepreneurs, to all the investors, the VCs, the mentors, the juries, the judges, everyone who made this possible. Thank you to you who are online. We hope you had a wonderful evening. Thank you to you here. For those of you here, we are continuing the discussion with the cocktail in the bar over there. For those of you online, see you in 2025. And we hope you had a wonderful evening with us. Thank you. Thank you.